Good morning, I am Tracy Spence with your newscast. This newscast is brought to you courtesy of BioLife Energy Systems. Come join the living. Call them at 800-875-5433. USA Credit Repair, the key to beautiful credit. You may call them at 800-786-1330. Cruising with the Case Handler, a show on personal injury and immigration, weekdays 9:30 a.m. on Saturdays 7 p.m. and 12 noon on Sundays. And the Supreme Power Homes, call them at 800-493-9002. Now for the news and details. Attorneys representing the 4 crew members of the Jamaican registered vessel Lady Lala, who were being held in the United States, have disclosed that diplomatic channels have now been opened in an effort to secure the men's return home. The 4 men were arrested by the U.S. Coast Guard in Jamaica's territorial waters pursuant to the Shipwrighter Agreement, but were ordered released by the Southern District Court of Florida. Despite the court order, however, the men are still not free and the vessel was destroyed by the Coast Guard. Attorney at law Bianca Samuels told reporters that the Foreign Affairs Ministry has not yet responded to a letter seeking its intervention in the matter. She revealed, however, that diplomatic channels are now being used with the Jamaican consulate in Miami, having made contact with U.S. immigration on behalf of the men. Ms. Samuels also expressed concern, however, that the men are likely to be treated like convicts in the manner in which they will be returned to Jamaica by the U.S. authorities. Education Minister Favour Williams is to update Jamaicans on Sunday on plans for the reopening of schools. The Ministry of Education has said it is in its final stages of assessing Monday's reopening. It said details of the guidelines, protocols, and any additional schools that might be reopened for face-to-face classes would soon be released. In a video posted by the ministry's Twitter handle on Wednesday, Mistress Williams said that her team would be guided by the Health Ministry. After the island-wide school lockdown in March, 17 public schools reopened the first phase of face-to-face classes on November 10. Later that month, the ministry said more than 100 additional schools were assessed as ready for face-to-face learning for the January 2021 school term. Meanwhile, the Center for Economics and Business Research, CEBR's latest World Economic League table shows Jamaica falling 12 places in the ranking over the next 15 years. The CEBR forecasts that Jamaica will fall from 126th position in 2020 to 138 in 2035. It also forecast economic growth for Jamaica at 3% on average over the next 5 years before falling to 2.1% between 2026 and 2035. The unit said Jamaica's economy is in a very tough patch, with GDP contracting by a projected 8.6% this calendar year, due largely to COVID-19 related factors. It again flagged public sector debt as a key source of concern for the economy, suggesting it threatens to constrain growth in the medium to long term. Finally, the opposition People's National Party is calling on the Jamaican government to immediately release payments to the thousands of government pensioners who did not receive their pension checks or deposits for the month of December. According to the opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, especially in the Christmas season, a delay in payment spells untold and unnecessary hardships for pensioners. Robinson said he knows pensioners who submitted their life certificates for the quarter ending January 31st, 2020, and received payments for October and in November, but none in December. According to the Shadow Finance Minister, the issue is clearly a fallout of the Accountant General's Department and needs to be resolved quickly. The opposition is urging the government not to prolong the worries of pensioners by waiting until the next payment date due in January 2021 to make the disbursements. And that is it for the news. This newscast came to you courtesy of BioLife Energy Systems. Come join the living. Call them at 800-875-5433. USA Credit Repair, the key to beautiful credit. You may call them at 800-786-1330. Cruising with the Case Handler, a show on personal injury and immigration, weekdays 9:30 a.m. on Saturdays 7 p.m. and 12 noon on Sundays. And the Supreme Power Homes, call them at 800-493-9002. On behalf of the news and production team, I am Tracy Spence. To have a good morning.